And now for something completely different.
When I was in like middle school, I pirated like Skyrim because I played that a lot, like on the 360. I just got into like the creation kit and stuff like that, and it started out like super simple. Like I think I made a mod like making all of the unplayable races playable, made like all of the unplayable armors playable. So yeah, it started with Skyrim. I pirated it, and it was on like a little crap top, and I remember I would play it in like a little 640 by 480 window. That was like my break into modding, and then I modded games like Mountain Blade, the older Elder Scrolls games like Morrowind, and stuff like GTA 5 too. That was how I broke into it, more or less, pretty humble beginnings. Like Christmas 2006 or 2007. I got it for Christmas, and me and my dad would play it all the time. And he was like never, he was a pretty like blue collar dude, was never like into games, but that was like the one game that he was like real into with me. Play it all the time. He had like his own save file. It was a great time. Good memories.
Hey Matthias, my name's Fiona, your ex-op support coordinator for this mission.
What's the deal? We're almost there yet?
When I was a kid, I was pretty enthralled by like all of the different factions and all of their different dynamics. Because you had like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, where you could do like missions in a linear faction. But the concept of like being able to go all over and work for different people was pretty big to me. It's like something I'd never seen before. Apart from all the other obvious stuff like the destruction and whatnot.
Hey, Merc. Glad you could make it. We're ready to clear you for your first ace contract. Try to keep the casualties down, if you can.
I think the reason that I love that game so much is just because of, I don't know, it's hard to put into words, but like I said, apart from all of the obvious stuff like the destruction being really good and stuff, I think Mercenaries 1 just has really, really good vibes. There's many laws to the universe. There's the laws of physics. There's many laws, but chief among them is the law of chill vibes, right? Has never been defeated. And I think with a game like Mercenaries, you have the soundtrack, ambient sounds, all of the, I don't know, there's just a lot of ingredients in there that make for a perfect storm of chill vibes. So I think that's probably why I love the game, more or less. Apart from all the other obvious stuff, I mean, it's a lot of fun. When somebody asks me why I love that game, that's my answer probably. I do think it is a chill game. I will go out on a limb with that hot take.
Try meditation, I've heard that helps.
Just get me off this bird and I'll be fine.
I probably started modding the game in like 2020, 2021. I think around the time like COVID hit. It started out like real simple. My first mod was Juche edition way back in like 2020, 2021. That was pretty much like I was editing the INI files, and it was like real surface level stuff. It's like, okay, like I'm gonna make the game like a little bit harder. I'm gonna change like the contract payouts and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, that was really just came out of like a desire. Like I had played the game, through probably like 15, 20 times, and I just wanted something harder, pretty much. I just wanted more challenge.
Have you checked out your new PDA yet?
I'm not much of a gadget guy.
Well, that gadget could save your life.
Yeah? Can it stop a bullet?
That was way more recent. So that was after like the source code dropped and hex editing was discovered, and that kind of more came out of a desire to like bring back all the cut content and stuff like that. So yeah, no, just like make like an unofficial update to Playground of Destruction was my goal. And I kind of like put Juche edition in there as a sub mod, kind of like remade it, built it off of it. Yeah, no, it's been tons of fun.
Okay, the first thing you need to do is get to shore. There should be a dock up ahead.
I think I might have first played Mercs 2 for the PS2 when I was like 13. So I played Mercs 2 for the Xbox 360 first. And me and my dad, we both got that, and we were both like a little bit disappointed by it. We can't like quite put our finger on it, but there's like something is like kind of off. Like the vibes were much different. The gameplay in a lot of ways, like in our opinion, like wasn't as deep.
This isn't funny.
My Xbox 360 360 kind of shit the bed, or I got like a red ring of death or something, and I had my PS2 just kind of lying around, and I like wanted to play some Mercenaries, so I went to GameStop and I got it on the PS2. Kind of just I was like, wow, this is not the same game as the 360 version, like, at all. And I think the desire to mod it came after, like, I found out that files of Playground Destruction pretty malleable. At that point, I was just kind of fascinated, like, you know, after I made Juche Edition, I was fascinated. I was like, can we make Mercs 2 on the PS2 into a good game? That's more or less what the question I was asking myself, I think. I don't know. I almost would call it like a demake almost, but even that's not like accurate since it is like literally a mod for a game. I don't know. I want to say, it sounds a little pretentious, but I want to say like World Reflamed is kind of trying to be the true sequel to Mercenaries 1 in a lot of ways. Not to sound like super pretentious, but it's supposed to be similar in kind of the whole gameplay structure, more similar to the first game, and also just in terms of vibes. It's supposed to be a little bit grittier, a little bit more melancholy. It's supposed to have a little bit better world building, stuff like that.
That should do it here. Time to move in.
Well, the fact that it has like such a notorious reputation, it almost kind of makes it easier, because it's like, I don't know, it just kind of like when I started working on that game, working World Reflamed as a project, it was kind of like, wow, like I have like all the freedom in the world, because no matter what I do, nobody is going to be like, oh my God, you're violating the sanctity of Mercenaries 2 on the PS2. You know? It was very exciting for me, because I felt like there is like the only way to go was up. Going back to the question of like, can we make this a good game? I think more or less, if you can achieve that goal, it'll be quite satisfying in the end.
I know how to fix the thing. I just need a ride out there. I know the place.
Man, I mean, there's quite a bit. Like, I mean, just totally kind of starting from scratch and doing something new in terms of the lore. I kind of went through every faction with a fine-tooth comb, and you know, I kind of treated it like, okay, well, Mercenaries 1 happened, obviously, but I'm gonna consider Mercenaries 2 to be non-canon, and I'm gonna start where developers set up the story for Mercenaries 2. But I'm only gonna use that. I'm only gonna use the bare bones, and I'm just gonna go my own way from there. For example, like, you know, I wanted more Hispanic factions, so I thought, you know, well, it makes less sense for China to be involved, so I'll try putting Cuba in the world. You know, kind of gave them their own arsenal and everything. More or less did that with every faction. Like the arsenal, the vehicle arsenals, all of the weapons, everything, it's all more or less kind of remixed in kind of a way that's similar to the first game, but still new in my opinion. And there's obvious stuff too, like you have, you know, the 3 new main characters who I've also kind of tried to rewrite a little bit and give a little bit more personality. That's more or less, there's quite a bit.
I'm empowered to use any and all methods, including you.
I think the kind of the way I want to approach a release is, I always thought it would be cool to do it in like 2 parts. Part 1 would more or less be an overhaul, a total overhaul of Mercs 2 for the PS2. You get all of the factions kind of overhauled, the arsenal overhauled. You have the new voice lines, the new story, edited missions, and the structure of the missions is going to be different. So it's, you know, hopefully not going to be as linear as base Mercs 2 on the PS2. So that would be part 1, which I'm hoping maybe I could get a release like within 2026, hopefully. And then part 2, I think, because I definitely want to continue the project, I would like to have something after the main story. So like you go to a different map, and kind of in the vein of the first game where you go to the northern province, you know, you'll go to a different map and there will be a new set of missions and more things to get, and it'll be kind of the difficulty will kind of go up, and that probably, I mean, within the next 5 years, hopefully. That's up in the air, because that's pretty ambitious.
Perfect. 1 down, do you want to go?
Yeah, so it's going to be called Menace.pro, which is also the name of the Discord server. I have the domain purchased. I just haven't started work on the actual website yet. But yeah, that's just going to be intended to be like a very kind of nostalgic feeling game fan site, like ones you would find in like the 2000s or the early 2010s. And the two big things that it'll have, it's going to have an encyclopedia for all of the vehicles and weapons in Mercenaries, and it's going to be like down to the stats. So it's like, you know, if you have the North Korean Jeep, it'll like list the exact level of acceleration and brake that it has. Or if you have like an AK from Mercs 1, it'll list the exact level of damage. It's not going to be intended as like a replacement for the wiki, but it's kind of like an encyclopedia. And then there's going to be an archive for just any media pertaining to Mercenaries, because I'm pretty big on archiving stuff so it doesn't get lost.
Hey, all right. Just what I need. A professional.
POD Plus blew up like more than I thought it was going to blow up. I mean, I just started that as like a side project. The main thing was World Reflamed. I still get comments like every other week being like, oh my God, this is amazing. You're like doing God's work. You're working on my childhood game. I think the first POD Plus video is up to like 14K views, which is wild. I never anticipated it blowing up like that. So yeah, no, it's all been like real positive. It's a pretty niche community, so it's not, you know, on the level of a huge modded game like Skyrim, but it's still real cool to see. You know, the only thing is it's just we need people that, you know, have the time, since, you know, everybody has their own lives and their own jobs and whatever. It can be a little slow in that regard, but something happens, it's real exciting.
Easy, boy. Just don't forget about our payday, okay?
Forget the $100 million. Impossible.
My YouTube channel, 6th Gen ProCat, and also the Mercenaries modding Discord, which is also called Menace.pro. And there should be a link in my bio on my YouTube page.